Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today's video is gonna be different. It's gonna be very personal, and what I'm talking about is when you lose a child, when you have a miscarriage. So yeah guys, I've gone through 2 miscarriages. Like, there's a certain percentage of women that get pregnant for the first time, you are more likely to miscarry. I think I was one of those. So for my first pregnancy ever, I think I was, how old was I? I think I was 20. My very first pregnancy, guys. I took it very hard. It's not like, oh my god, I was super excited like I'm pregnant. No, I took it fucking hard. Why? Because I still had goals for myself and all this. But I think that, I mean, I'm religious, but I'm not like 100% religious of going to church and all this. But I'm a strong believer, and stuff happens for a reason. The first time I got pregnant, guys, I really did not take it as exciting as like, oh my god, I'm pregnant, I'm having a baby. Like, I did not take it like that. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I took it like, oh my god, like my college, like my future, my career. And I believe that God, okay, so if you're not a believer in God, okay, it's all right. But I'm just giving you guys my story, my opinions, my beliefs. In my belief, like, I believe, God, like a child's a blessing. A child is a blessing because not many people have the opportunity to be mothers. A child's a blessing. And when he sends you a child and you're like, oh my god, oh fuck, my career, oh fuck this and this, you know what I mean? When that child is not wanted, I truly feel that God like just takes it away. You know, it takes it away. And that's the sad thing, guys. But even though I found out I was pregnant and I fucking cried because I was like, oh my god, my career, this and that, I was like, okay, well, I'm happy. Like, all those, it was just mixed emotions, guys, because, what was my first time getting pregnant? Like, my first time ever, like, to know, like, oh my god, my body, like, it's pregnant, so it was brand new to me. I was young, it was brand new to me. When I found out I was pregnant, I was 12 weeks. I was 12 weeks. My ex-husband was all excited looking for names, and I was like, no, don't do that and all this. Well, yeah, guys, sad thing fucking happened, like, at midnight. Yeah, was it midnight? Yes, it was midnight. I just started bleeding. I started bleeding, like not bleeding, and I started cramping and all this. And basically, my body was already like, just like, it was just like rejecting the baby. It was just rejecting the baby, and I was young. I didn't know what to do. I was just at home, like, oh my god, my body's going through this. It was a very painful thing, guys. Very painful thing because I was just reading about it, like, okay, this is the symptoms and all this, and it was truly happening. And it's something that scares you when you're a first time mom. When it's the first time you get pregnant, it's something that really truly scares you, and you do not know what to do. So yeah, guys, I had to wait till my ex-husband got fucking home from work till midnight. I had to wait that long because nobody was taking me to the hospital or anything like that. Nobody. And at that time, I was living with my mother-in-law, so yeah. Anyways, long story short, nobody took me to the hospital. I had to wait till he got home. And after he got home, we went. And the fucking waiting room for fucking emergency room was fucking long. And I was like, oh my god. And I'm over here bleeding. Like, I'm over here, like, losing my baby. Like, oh my god. Like, what would, like, like, what am I gonna do? Like, you just get that urge to go to the bathroom. So I went to the bathroom, and and it came out. It came out. I remember I was holding it, even though it was just like a clot. I was able to see it, guys, but I was like, so it did affect me very much. The next day, I felt so empty as a woman. I felt empty, like empty, like it's just fucking empty, because it's like you have, like, like there's no baby inside you no more. So I felt like sad. I felt kind of depressed. Everybody was telling me, oh, it's okay, you guys could try again. And it's like, that's one thing that people don't understand. When somebody goes through a loss, a miscarriage, they do not want to hear, like, it's okay, you could have more kids. Like, they don't want to fucking hear that. That's not words that are gonna fucking help that person. So yeah, so this happened probably like around 10-11 years ago. That was my first baby ever. And I believe I would have been done like in October. So yeah, guys, so it was pretty crazy. It did affect me, but there was no day where I forgot that day, where I lost like my first pregnancy. Of course, later on, I got pregnant. I had my son. Thank God he's good. He's 9 years old now. Thank God. And after that, I got divorced. And then I finally met my boyfriend. And then I got pregnant. I got pregnant, guys. Like, I got pregnant. So now I have my daughter, which is the biggest blessing in my life, because as soon as the doctor told me, okay, you're pregnant, I was like, oh shit. And now I was on the IUD. I was on the IUD for I believe I had the Marina, which was 5 years. I had it for 5 years, guys. And after 2 years, I just had to take that shit out. Why? Because it was driving me nuts. It was making me so bloated, like crazy bloated. It was breaking me out. I was having heart palpitations. It was just crazy. I honestly felt I was falling into depression because there was days where I just wanted to fucking cry for no reason. So I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna take this bitch out. And yes, guys, I took that out by myself. Even though you guys might be like, ew, why you do that? That's just simply my body. I do whatever the fuck I want with my body. So yeah, I took it out. So yeah, guys. So last year, around, I believe it was around September, like, was it September? Yeah, around probably like the last days of September. This is the thing, guys. Okay, around September, I had made an appointment to get an IUD. I wanted to get the 10-year one, so I made an appointment ahead of time. They told me, okay, well, wait till you have your period, and then you could come in after your period. You could come in and get it. I'm like, okay. September came along. Listen, guys, September came along. I had my period, and then after that, I went into the doctor's, and and I was already ready, like, to go, like, okay, putting on my robe and all this. So I went in there. And of course, they have to take you like a pregnancy test just to be sure, whatever. And I was like, okay, well, I can't be pregnant. I got my period, whatever. So I'm like, okay, sure, I'll take a test, whatever. So I took a test, whatever, and I'm waiting there, excited, like, yes, I could finally get my birth control. And then all of a sudden, the nurse is like, I'm sorry, hon. I'm like, what? And she like, I'm sorry, but your test came back positive. And I was like, what? I was like, what are you talking about? Are you sure? She like, yeah. I'm like, how is that possible? I got my period. Like, fucking weird. You know what I mean? When she told me I was pregnant, I told her, okay, can you do an ultrasound? So she did a vaginal ultrasound, and she checked, and she said it was too early. She told me to come back in 2 more weeks for me to be like, like a little bit more advanced, more weeks in, and she'll be able to do an ultrasound. So I'm like, okay. So right after I fucking left, I started spotting. I started fucking spotting. So I'm like, what the hell? Like, what's going on? Like, this is weird, So after that happened, the next day, guys, it's like I felt like I was going fucking crazy. I was going crazy. And I had to do an appointment. Like, I'm like, I just need a second opinion, because I cannot be here at home while I'm fucking spotting, and they just told me I'm pregnant, and they can't give me no fucking answers, like, how far along am I or something. So yeah, so they didn't, whatever. So I was able to find a doctor, and I did. I made an appointment. I went in there, and of course and I took a pregnancy test, and the thing is that they asked you, when was your last period? So I'm in there, and I'm like, oh, and the thing is that, we were still in the month of September. So I'm like, oh, I had a September something. And then the girl looks at me like I'm crazy. Like, okay, so what makes you think you're pregnant if you just had a period? I'm like, because I went somewhere else and fucking test came back fucking positive. So I want to know what's going on. She was shocked as well. I'm like, oh my God, like, I don't know what's going on with my body. So yeah, they did a pregnancy test and boom, positive. Like, I didn't know what was going on with my body because I was spotting. I had my period that month, and then people are telling me I'm pregnant. So I'm like, what's going on? So I go in there, they do the pregnancy test, whatever. And then they made my first prenatal fucking appointment. All they told me was like, yeah, you're pregnant. And I was able to talk to the doctor, and I told her what was going on. I'm like, I had my period this month. And she's like, well, it's normal. Some girls confuse it for spotting and all this bullshit. So I'm like, oh my God, like, okay. I was kind of like not worried. So I'm like, but I'm like, in my head, I'm like, how the hell was it spotting when I was like, I was bleeding, like, period. So then after that, I fucking went home, and I have to tell my boyfriend, yeah, it's positive, baby. He's like, he was shocked still, but then we were like, okay, this and that. And then I noticed that the bleeding kind of started getting a little bit more heavier. So I'm like, so I got scared, guys. And after you go through a after you go through a fucking miscarriage, oh my God, after you go through a miscarriage and you see your body's bleeding, oh my God, the biggest fucking fears just take over. Your fears take over again. It's like your insecurities when you're scared of getting hurt, and then somebody's acting a certain way. It just oh, how can I say it? Like all your fears come back. Okay, so my fears were coming back when I started seeing myself, like I was like bleeding, and I was like, oh my God, like I was scared because I'm like, oh my God, I'm gonna lose my baby. You know what I mean? So yeah, guys. So then after that happened, I was like, oh yeah. After that day, they sent me to go get blood work. So I'm over there going to go get blood work. This happened in like a whole week, guys. In a whole week, I had to go up and down getting blood work done so they could check my levels and all this bullshit, and yeah. And then I fucking started bleeding even more, and I was like, what the hell? And I was cramping as well. So then I was like, I was fucking confused. I was so confused. I'm like, what the hell do I do? Like, what the hell do I do? So I'm like, so what I did was made another fucking appointment. And like in that same week, I made another appointment. I went in there, then the doctor was like, oh, well, didn't you just come back? I'm like, yeah, but I'm fucking bleeding. Like, I'm bleeding. Like, can you fucking check if there's anything in me? Like, okay. Let me tell you guys. Before I went in there, because I was bleeding, I had very, very light bleeding. Okay, I went in there and she had done an ultrasound because I was just begging, can you guys please do an ultrasound? Please fucking do an ultrasound. So she had done an ultrasound, and she actually yeah. Oh God, I don't even know what the fuck I'm saying. So she did an ultrasound and she showed me, and she showed me, like the little sac, like literally. It was probably like as small as a bean. It was really, really little, but I saw it. She printed it out, and I was like, oh my God. And I was like, I was happy, but I was like, oh my God, like I'm bleeding. You know what I mean? So yeah, guys. So I do have that picture, and then I was happy. I sent it to my boyfriend. Like, look, it's the baby. It's really, really little. Whatever. Because a lot of people's like, when you tell them I had a miscarriage, I lost a baby, just because they're like fucking, and I was 6 days pregnant, guys. Many of you guys might be like, oh my God, that was too soon. I don't give a fuck. I was pregnant. Like, my body, like, literally, like, I was carrying a baby. You know what I mean? To me, a life is already, once you see that little thing in the ultrasound, to me, it's a life. So, yeah, so after that, like probably like 2 days later, I just started fucking bleeding a lot. Like, I went to the bathroom and it was literally red everywhere. And I was like, oh my God. I was just like, my fear was just like, oh, it was just there. I literally had to use a pad and all this. And it was just fucking sad. Like, I was like, ugh, you know what I mean? Like my body, I'm trying to figure it out, connect everything. Like, how the fuck am I, like, how is it possible for a woman to bleed like they're having a period? Like, and then, like, it's just weird, guys. It's just fucking weird. I'm sorry, I'm not making sense. On a Friday, I went out with my sister-in-law, and then I just felt so dizzy. I felt dizzy, and that's a symptom when you're miscarrying, is you feel so dizzy. And I thought it was normal because I was pregnant, because I was kind of feeling moody already. So I felt really dizzy, and I'm like, oh my God. And then, and then we went to go eat, and I went to the bathroom, and I wiped, and yeah, guys, like, it was just like bloody. And I'm sorry, it's TMI, but it was just fucking bloody. And what is it called? So I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna make an appointment. So I made an appointment the next day, and I told the doctor, I'm like, can you please do an ultrasound? Please do a fucking ultrasound, because I need to see if my baby's still there. Like, it's the desperation of a mother, guys. The desperation of a mother trying to figure out if your baby's still inside you. So as I'm laying there, and I'm like, you know what, God, if you decide to take my baby, like, it'll be whatever you want. It'll be whatever you want. And I have to accept it, because it's your will. You know, you're the boss here. You decide, you know, what you want to do. Like I always tell everybody, you know, we're just borrowed, like in this earth. Pretty soon we're gonna go back to him, you know. So I was like, it'll be whatever God wants. If he wants to take him, then okay. So yeah, guys. So as I'm laying there and I'm getting my ultrasound done, she tells me, I'm sorry, hun, but it's gone. Like it's gone. Like you miscarried, and I'm like, okay. I didn't cry, guys. I did not cry when she was there. I did not cry. I'm like, oh, okay, you know. I was strong. And then after she left, like my ears were on my ears. What the fuck? My eyes were like, oh my God, like I was holding back. I was like, you know, I was like, damn it, like I lost it. Oh, and then in some way, guys, like one feels guilty. One feels guilty because shit like that happens, and sometimes, you know, like a lot of women are pregnant and they don't even know it, and fuck, you know. And I mean, I'm saying like me, guys, when I had my son, I was pregnant and I didn't even fucking know, you know. And I like Coronas, but like I'm not in like a fucking everyday drinker. No, you know, when you hang out with the family, with a Mexican family, you drink Coronas. So I'm like, okay, let me get a beer, and I didn't even know I was pregnant. But yeah, guys. So, you know, so I'm like, shit, like, you know, if I was pregnant this time, and I'm over here fucking drinking alcohol, but I didn't even know. So I'm like, oh, so you do feel guilty. Someone, you feel guilty. You feel like shit. You know, it's never gonna hurt as much. I mean, it's gonna hurt both parents, fathers, but the one that I feel like fucking hurts like fuck is the mother. Because the mother's the one that carries the baby. The mother's the one that goes through everything. You know, and it's like when you lose a baby, it's like you lose half of you too. You know? And I feel, guys, that this miscarriage was like, oh, like it was hard. I believe like it was way harder, you know, than my first one. But, you know, God does things for a reason, guys. And my message to you girls out there, that I know, like healing, it's hard. I really do not think that you could ever heal from this. I do not think that you could ever heal from losing a baby, from losing a child. Like, I do not think you could ever heal. You could try, but I do not think you could ever heal, because as a mother, it hurts. It hurts. Because me, you know, there's days, you know, where I do think about both of them. Yeah. So yeah, guys. But that's my thing to you girls out there. For the young girls out there, you know, just have faith. Have faith, you know. It's a miracle. Like, I think God, you know, did such a good creation when he created us women to be able to carry a baby. Like, I think, like I said, guys, I think that's crazy. It's amazing to me. It's like a miracle, you know. So I hope you guys like my video, guys. Hopefully you guys didn't think I was boring. It's just like, I don't know. I just feel, you know, like I needed kind of to vent with you guys and let you guys know. So I'm gonna let you guys go. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'm gonna go take care of my child now. Alright, ladies, love you guys.